We're back.
Hey everyone.
Episode 4, Court and Bash,
2 is 1.
and the snack that smiles back.
Me?
Goldfish. But we're back. Episode 4, Court and Bash. It's 2 is 1.
Heavenly Father, thank you for your love and your faithful provision throughout our lives. We ask that the love within our marriage covenant reflect your own selfless love, growing stronger, deeper, and more enduring with each passing day. Help us, Lord, to be a source of encouragement, support, and peace to one another. May our marriage always stand as a testament to your faithfulness and grace. Father, give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hearts that understand your will. Lead us in wisdom. Guide our decisions and protect us from all deception. We dedicate this podcast and our words to you, that every conversation would honor you and bring hope to others. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Love is patient, love is kind, never failing, always shines through the trials, through the fight. Your love remains your perfect light.
So,
Okay, take a break. Just smile at the camera.
no, let's just start again. So, all right.
Today we're talking about kids.
Today is about the cheering.
Yep. And how they demand so much time from us. How it is easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, life-to-life,
Or prioritize.
schedules,
Yeah.
everything.
Just prioritizing the kids over what you're supposed to
It's
have in a marriage.
Very easy to do.
It
And
is.
we were there. We still are. We're still working through that.
are.
Because,
We are.
little side note, we had a hard time having children. We thought we were never going to have them.
Yeah, but out of God's glory,
God's glory.
we were gifted our firstborn after being told you have no chance of having kids. We had infertility issues. And then we settled on just buying Rottweilers. We got 2 Rottweilers, and the day no, it wasn't the day. It was maybe within the week.
We picked Obi up like the day before we found out we were pregnant.
Right. So we settled that, and just backstory about us too, just so you guys can get to know us a little better about that. We literally did. It wasn't necessarily on my behalf of like prayer, because at that time I didn't put my full trust
Yeah.
in God or understand the miracles that he can provide.
Mm-hmm. I was that person for you.
Mm.
You leaned on me when it came to God.
Yep.
And I wasn't even, like, I didn't know it all. I was very new at learning. But you have that person, you put your, like, hey, will you pray for me?
Yep.
You know? So he leaned on me. I did most of the praying.
And in my eyes, it was just cliche. You know, it's like, well, of course we're going to pray,
Yeah.
but our prayers are answered. Within the week of picking up our second dog, because again, we thought about just farming Rottweilers, you know, and
Could you imagine?
I'm telling you, within that week, I kid you not, she called me. I was at work, and she said, babe, I'm pregnant. And I just lost it. Like, I didn't know what to do. And again, if you guys haven't heard, I'm a police officer, so like my train of thought just went completely
He had to come home.
overboard. I left work, came home, we went to the doctors just to say, in case this was a psych or gotcha moment.
Yeah.
And we conceived our first son, Max, and everything after that was a breeze. Like, we didn't have any issues. But being told that you can't have children
Mm-hmm.
to having children was a blessing,
Yeah. So
unlike any other.
it's hard for us to not prioritize the gift that was given to us. But according to God's word, we can't do that.
Nope.
And don't get us wrong. Like, come on. If I had to choose between you and my kids,
Mhm.
I'm supposed to choose you.
Mhm.
But what mother would be like, take the kids?
Right.
I can't do that.
Right.
So it's a touchy subject, but we are following as best as we can. And we want to talk about the law of priority.
Yep. and what those priorities are in order, which
Yeah.
we've covered multiple times.
God
now,
first and then marriage, and now we're on to kids.
Now we're on the kids. They're third. They're third in line, even though we make them first in our lives. We often find ourselves making them first in our lives. But go ahead.
Studies show that as the marriage gets older, you guys get older in your marriage, and the kids get older, the less satisfied you are in your marriage. And you don't get back to, or no, you can. It starts going back to the beginning once your kids are out of the house, but it never fully returns. And that's if your marriage even makes it that far.
Yeah, a study I looked up was the average age of divorce in America. Could you guys take a guess of what it is? Could you?
It ain't 30.
It's not 30. It's not 30. We're far from considering. No. But 40 to 45 years of age.
Ooh, that's like prime.
That's prime. I'd say, considering
That's like when
having
your
children
kids are,
out of the house,
yeah.
roughly. So say your average age, which I didn't look
Or
that up, but
almost.
I could say that your average age of having a child is roughly 20 to 25 maybe.
Yeah.
And then kids, unless they go to college right after high school, probably a couple years at home, especially if they stay local. So by that time, with all that energy you put in, we see it, we
makes
see it with
sense.
parents now. They are constantly, like, if your kids are in sports, they're out every weekend.
That is so good. Yeah.
And you played softball. The amount of time that your parents spent,
Luckily, my dad
With
was my
both of you.
coach,
right?
and my mom would never miss a game. So we were a family at those events.
Yeah.
But if my dad wasn't a coach and my mom was the one fully giving her all or the opposite, that would be so easy for them to fall out of love.
Yeah, because of all that energy you put into your kid, all that love you put into your kid, when they're out of the house, what's there to love?
Yeah, what do you do? Mm-hmm.
And that's where I could see that fact coming in at 40 to 45 is when you run out of, you essentially think you run out of time. Whereas if you would have prioritized your spouse during that time, as you
Yes.
should,
Yes. I think I
There
just
w-
yelled at you. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
the candle will still be lit.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning then of like a normal life.
Mhm.
If you do it this way, you get married first.
Mhm.
You guys are in that honeymoon phase. And the honeymoon phase will last people longer if they don't have kids right away,
Oh, I could agree with that.
because you get to do whatever. You don't have to think about getting home at a certain time or finding a babysitter. Like, you just get to spend time with each other. You get to adventure. At the beginning, you're in the honeymoon phase, and then eventually a couple years in, you start having kids. And that's when your priorities start to mess up. You're no longer nurturing the relationship.
Oh, that's good.
You're nurturing something new.
Yes.
And stereotypical marriages, the wife is the one nurturing the baby the most.
Yeah.
And the husband takes his focus from the wife and places it at work.
Outside providing for the family.
Yeah, because now you're not just taking care of your wife, you're taking care of your baby. That's your nurturing.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's a lot of men that do nurture. You were a good nurturer for our kids.
Thank you.
But your focus did go to policing more.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
You were like, dang, I got to work overtime.
Yeah. I gotta think of what to get the kids for Christmas. Well,
Yes.
no, I'm not even gonna say that just in case kids listen. Santa Claus is real. Santa Claus is absolutely real.
And maybe it wasn't work. And it could be either female or male. What if it was golfing or playing the PlayStation or, help me out, sports?
Mhm.
There are so many things that you can prioritize. And I guess that is the definition of prioritize. But you'll stop thinking about your significant other because you are putting something else up there.
Yeah, absolutely. The real fact fades away from you.
Mm-hmm.
We ran into that problem in our last season that we changed this season was finding time for me and you. significant time, important
Ooh.
time.
Can I add something?
Absolutely.
Sorry, I don't want you to get too far. You just made me think.
No, you're fine.
So I went back to the beginning. You prioritized work. I prioritized the babies.
Mhm.
And this wasn't our situation specifically, but it's very common where the wife is at home taking care of the babies, doing the gross work at home. You're at work, and all you want to do is come home to a wife and be touched by her.
Just attention paid to you.
She doesn't want to touch you or be touched because she's tired of being touched.
Right. She's tired of being touched. And
she
getting
probably
her
hasn't
attention
showered.
elsewhere. Right. It's the truth.
Yes. So then
truth.
you get envious. Would it be envious?
Mhm.
Like, wow, she's given all of her attention to
Jealous.
these kids.
It would be jealous.
Yeah. And then that's where the clashing starts.
Yeah. And forever.
Till at least 18.
Yeah.
Keep going. And then the kids leave the house and you're like, oh, yeah, I do have a husband. I guess I could love him.
Right. But at that time, it's so far apart that you can't.
Yeah, you're just roommates.
You almost, right. You're just there. You're in that side to side.
Yes.
You're in that side
There
to
it
side
goes.
relationship where it's just business
Mm-hmm.
and nothing else.
Yep.
But for
Except
you
you have
parents,
all that overtime money.
yeah, God's blessed with that.
I'm just kidding.
Previous seasons, as of right now, we're in a great standing, so I'm at home a lot more. But parents like not having a village and things like that, because that's what I was kind of pointing towards, and that's what we kind of run into now with 3 kids roughly the same age, but now we make it happen. Now we're in a season of living life for me and you, and not to say that they're not important to us, because your kids are always important to you, but we are making ourselves the priority so we can be better parents. And that's what people,
Yes.
so we can be better
Yes,
parents.
that is good. That is good.
You can't be the best you until you work on you, or you can't be the best for somebody else until you're all sorted out. And again, we're far from perfect, but our light, our connection between each other is just magnifying
Yes.
and growing each and every day.
And the kids obviously take your energy because you want to
Yes.
make yourself better, to be better for them and your
Yes.
spouse. Kids take so much of your energy, and a lot of times we often forget that energy and mental health go hand in hand.
Oh, 1,000%.
Like, you can't have energy if you're just not okay.
No.
And believe me, with a 2, 4, and 6-year-old, we're not okay.
No, we're not. But again, we still find that we still make our time
Yes.
together a priority. And it's almost to the fact now, and people might not agree with this, but this is just the way it is and how it needs to happen is if our kids don't leave us alone when it's our time, they're facing punishment. And I'm
Yes.
not saying,
Not
abusive
No.
punishment, like we're not beating their butts or nothing,
No.
but it's just go to your room.
like, I asked you to go to your room the
Right.
first time.
Mhm.
Now I'm telling you, you better go to your room.
Yeah.
In gentle parenting, we love gentle parenting. We really do. But when it comes to God's word, we don't gentle parent.
Corrective action is necessary.
Yes.
And the only time it's frowned upon is when it's acting out of anger, I would say.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know.
Very good point.
I don't know the exact scripture behind that, but I remember hearing it and it hit home for me because prior to it was always acting out of anger. When I would lose patience is when I would choose to punish. And it's not saying that I went above and beyond by any means,
No.
because there's nothing worse than punishing your kid and then them not really understanding it,
Yes.
And we
Because
find
9
ourselves
times out of
doing that.
10, if you explain,
Mhm.
they might still act out, but at least they understand.
Yeah, they can refrain back to the first conversation that was had.
Yes.
It's a warning. That's all it is, and you get it or you don't.
And when it comes to God's word, God's not going to punish them either. He's doing it out of love. So are we. So we are teaching his word by respecting your parents, doing, what's the word? Like when they do things, what they're supposed to do for them, but they're doing it for us. You're supposed to do that with joy.
Mhm.
I don't know how to word that.
I don't know. You're thinking of another big word, aren't you?
I am. Those are hard.
Big words are not my expertise. I tell you that much.
But like, hey, go clean your room. They're not supposed to stomp away and slam the door. They're supposed to say, "Okay, Mom, I'll go."
Oh yeah.
And that's hard, even for adults. We don't want to be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go to work today." Woo, you know.
Right.
But you're supposed to be joyful to serve your parents. They're
to-
serving us.
To have that opportunity
Mm-hmm.
of service.
But that doesn't mean take advantage of them.
No, and you never should.
Go get me a water.
Just because you're
Hey, go turn
lazy.
that light off. Yeah.
You should never use it just because you're lazy and you see your kid as your slave. That's not the point of it.
Because we don't see each other that way.
No.
Don't look at your kid.
No.
There are a lot of parents, and that's one of my it bothers me so much.
That's a thing. I can give myself a pat on the back because I do that, especially with Max and Porter being the boys, soon to be men. I mean, we all know that time flies. I mean, 2025 happened like
Oh, yeah.
But when you ask them to do something, and sometimes it may be out of their wheelhouse, but just seeing if there's an attempt at it, I will do it without hesitation. But then they'll follow me.
Yes.
And I love that. And it's always, and dads, watch behind your back. Your kid is, moms and dads, but just speaking to the dads per se.
At all ages.
They are watching every move you make. Every move you make. Because now when Courtney asks Max to do something that may involve some, physical or, something physical, whereas it's, hey, take this trash bag outside or something like that. I'm just trying to think of something.
I don't think I've ever did that, but it was a good example. Or he wants his lovey, his blanket, and it's in the car. Go to the car and get it.
Go to the car and get it.
And he starts throwing a fit, and Sebastian will stand up joyfully and say, "Oh, I'll go get it, babe." And Max is like, "What?"
Right, and then he'll follow right behind me.
He goes.
And then out at the car, he'll thank me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so big.
Yes. You are teaching him, not only are you teaching him to do it joyfully, but you're teaching him to respect me and to one day respect his wife.
Yes. Well, yes. Yes.
Everything is a teaching moment.
Everything is. They're always learning. And we're always learning because we're 30 years old and we're still learning.
Yes. Luckily, wouldn't have been so cool if we had these God's way instilled in us at 2, 4, and 6. Could you imagine where we would be? That would be so cool.
Right.
Every season of life, though, every season of childhood is different. There's comforting season, which would probably be us right now with our ages. Comforting.
Protection.
Giving knowledge or
Yes.
guidance. And then letting them fly on their own. As a parent, you have to recognize which season your kid is in when you're teaching the word.
Yeah.
Because you can very well stir them away.
Mhm.
You hear of so many Christian children growing up and being like, I don't want my family to go to church because I was forced to do it.
Right.
You have to be careful and you have to know which season your child is in.
Mm-hmm. And for the parents with multiple kids at different ages, that's where it can become a challenge because we talk to Max different than we talk to Porter,
Yes.
but then we also talk to Lennon different than we talk to the other two. And just making them understand at that point in their life what their priorities should be.
Yes. Max is at the priority of do things joyfully when you're asked to do it.
And becoming more independent.
Yes.
Little at a time. It's not like we're sitting here like, hey, cook your own food. This boy was excited. I tell you guys, what was that, 3-4 days ago? He wanted a Hot Pocket for a snack. And he was like, he looked at me and was like, Dad, can you make me a Hot Pocket? I said, you know what, son? It's a microwave. You just push the number 2.
Mom's
on
not
2
happy
minutes.
about this, you guys.
He's cooked so many things in the microwave since, but still, it was a good learning point because watching him just get that joy of
Growing
being
up.
independent, right? After he made his Hot Pocket, he looked at Porter, his younger brother, and said, Porter, what you want to eat? And Porter said, pizza rolls. He said, okay. He put 6 pizza rolls on a paper plate and then he put it in the microwave for 2 minutes.
Oh,
and on top of that, he they were piping hot by the time they came out. But he also microwaved pizza rolls, which we know they go in the oven. That's
he acts like he doesn't know how to do any of that when it's just me.
yeah, I believe it.
Oh, you too?
I believe it. Well, that's a good example.
Yeah, it is.
And that's
Oh.
so good.
Oh, listen to this. That was so good because studies also show that dads recognize the season
Oh,
before the moms do. Moms
that's good.
comfort. Like regardless of the age, we're going to comfort. We're going to care. Where dads know what knowledge to give.
Put them in preparation
Yes.
of being independent.
Like if I was a single mom raising boys, they're going to grow up. No offense, this is just how it is. And a lot of men know how to act because they only had a mom, but they're used to being catered to. They're used to being cared for. Whereas if you were a single dad, they would be like, I never had that mother nurture.
We were always at work,
Yeah.
always working or doing something.
So,
That's so
okay,
good.
then that goes to marriage too, because we were meant for each other. We balance each other. And when you're like,
You're
hey,
talking-
you need to grow up. You need to do this. You don't do that. But you need to grow up. Go chop some wood or
I mean,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
put it in terms, yeah.
go put your coat on.
Right.
Get some gloves.
Make sure your hat's on. You don't want to get a cold. Whereas I'm sitting here like you're going to be working and it's going to be hot. So you're going to take it off anyway.
Yes.
So don't wear it outside.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So it's loving your kids, man. They are amazing human beings, especially watching them grow up to become you. Cause I don't think there's any better feeling in the world than watching your kid mimic you. It's so big. And I feel that's when we get into that priority thing too, because nothing against that. We love our kids equally, but we treat each kid completely different
We do.
than one another. Like Max is our oldest. He looks like me.
Me.
I literally raised him how my dad raised me. Porter, he's starting to look like both of us, but he looks like you. He favors you. Actually, you're cousins. But I talk to him different because I want him to be in that role, but he has a softer heart.
He does.
He has your personality, which is vulnerable, just kind-hearted, but also
A tad bit annoying.
he asks a lot. He's at the question stage to where there's 1,000 questions a day.
Me too.
But yeah, very true. But not to say that your heart's weak. It's just easy to hurt. Easy
Because we wear it on our sleeve.
Exactly.
We don't think there's evil in the world.
No. And when it shows, it's like, oh, that's preposterous.
What's wrong with you?
Like that's not supposed to happen. But Lennon, our third, she's 2 years old, but I tell you, she's way ahead of both of our boys.
Oh, she is.
At this age. I mean, she's
No, just right now.
yeah, very true. Just right now, she can count to 5 in Spanish, and
She's so smart.
It's amazing. But yeah, we had a little quinceañera for her second birthday, but that's besides the point. She loves Dora.
We're not Spanish.
But we find ourselves doing that and then prioritizing each kid, because if Max fell down outside, being me, I would tell him to get up, right? You would tell him to get up too, but until you saw him make that face, it's like, oh my goodness, I need to go. That's my baby.
Max, it's opposite for me because Max is my baby
That is true.
and I comfort him before any of the others. And it's probably because you don't comfort him.
Yeah.
So I take charge. Like when Porter falls, I don't even look. I just listen for the cry and see what kind of cry it is.
Yeah.
When Lennon falls, I don't have to do anything because Sebastian goes running.
Oh, back to the rescue. She's daddy's girl.
Sorry, go ahead.
But again, making the kids the priority and going back to marriage, it's easier said than done by all means, especially depending on your career. Like you said, being at home all the time with them, we found ourselves previously running out of time for each other, so each other wasn't our main focus, because you doing what you do during the day never stopped. And that can be for that for all the stay-at-home moms. I feel for them. I really do, because at that time I did for you. But still, there was a bit of jealousy. So I made the situation worse, but that's because both of us didn't prioritize.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't just you.
No.
And watching you go to work knowing you would, that sounds awful, but you would rather be at work, not doing what I'm doing.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, I would feel the same way.
Reality, yes.
Like, see ya, I'm going to work. Watching you rather go to work, that immediately put me in the corner where I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And then you would get home and you would try to do it. And I'm like, no, I've been doing this all day. I don't need your help. I've been doing this.
Yep.
It just constant clashes.
That's all it was, and it was over jealousy,
Mm-hmm.
envy.
Yes.
And now it's different.
Now it's different. We
So different.
started with sometime in the evening, every evening we would say, kids, go to your room. This is our church told, I forget who. No, it was Mel. It was Pastor Mel.
Saying that this is mom and dad time.
It's couch time
whether
is what
it's-
she called it, I believe.
Right, whether it's 10 minutes, an hour, however long you need, so you guys can stay on that same track.
Every single day. And we promised to do 20 minutes a day. And it didn't, and with our season of life, it didn't work out in the evenings like it was supposed to. Now we just put our kids to bed a little bit earlier and we lay in our bed, and that's our time.
Mm-hmm.
We have to prioritize that. Whereas before, when we would go to bed, we'd scroll on Facebook. I'd read my book.
Yeah, we wouldn't talk to each
We
other.
wouldn't talk. We'd just pass out.
Just losing that distance.
Mm-hmm.
Just losing that distance.
Ooh, phone is a good one for things you prioritize.
Yeah, we did that, and I've done it since, because I don't answer my phone now. I don't respond immediately to people. If you text me or call me, plan on probably 24 hours to 48 hours.
Yep.
I'll call you back the
Me
next
too.
day. We did that during our fast at church, was phone, being off of our phones while we're at home. I was guilty of it.
I
And-
did after 8 p.m. because a lot of my work has to do with phone stuff. But after 8 p.m., everything is waiting until the next day.
Yeah. Because I found myself in that habit of just being on the phone. And again, we're talking about not prioritizing our kid over our marriage, but at the same time, I wasn't prioritizing our kids over
The phone.
my cell phone.
Yeah.
I would be laying on the couch, just scrolling.
A lot of men are guilty of
Just
this. You
scrolling.
You weren't the only one.
And then, and this breaks my heart. Like I could cry,
Oh,
like
I
thinking
hate
about it,
talking.
because I hate, I don't
Wasn't
like
as
igno-
bad as what you're making it sound, though.
But
It's just
seeing
because you
that-
feel guilty.
Yeah, but seeing that, and there was just so much guilt after the fact, and I realized that during our fast, I'd be sitting on the couch, just scrolling away, looking at senseless stuff, pointless things, just things that gain my attention more than my own children. And I'll always remember Porter coming up to me, "Hey, Dad, look at this," and I'm still on my phone, scrolling. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy. Dad, look at this. Hold on, buddy. Hold on. And then he just goes away. What he was going to show me, I don't know. But that was probably the coolest thing to him
Yeah.
that I just brushed off. I did it with Max too. Like I've done it with all of our kids except for Lennon.
He doesn't ignore Lennon.
I don't ignore Lennon. I can't, and that's because maybe she'll throw something at my head if I'm not paying attention. But with Max, it was like, "Dad, can we go outside and play?" When before becoming a father, I told you things that I look forward to. And number one was my kids jumping on me,
Mm-hmm.
jumping all over me, use me as a trampoline. And that even faded away a little bit too because of my phone.
Yeah.
It really did. And other things that just took precedence over whether it was work and other things like that. But Max just saying, "Dad, you want to go outside?" "Hold on, buddy." That was always my response to him. "Hold on, buddy." And then when it was time for him to play sports, that's what ate me alive. When it was time for him to play sports, he showed no interest in it, or he didn't know how. And yeah, he was younger. We like to blame it on the age. But no. I could have did that with him in the driveway. Or I could have just went outside and shot a basketball in a hoop, and he'll learn off of that. I remember when I was younger, my dad would take me to the park when he would have some runs in Columbus. And that's what got me to start liking basketball and just picking up where he's leaving off. You know what I'm saying? But that ate me alive, was just making that the priority. But ever since then, anytime they ask us to do something,
We're
we do
we're
it.
present.
We do it. And it's not that we're taking priority over us, because we're still doing it together. We're making sure that me and you are both included in that. And
You aren't as bad as what you're making it sound. Your guilt is just eating you alive because you know how much you wanted those babies.
Mhm.
And I'm here to tell you that you are a great father. You've always been a great father. You've always been a present father. And by you saying this just proves how good of a father you are.
yeah, thank you.
Recognizing it.
Yeah,
You're prioritizing your kids, but you know what you prioritize over them?
you.
Me.
Mhm.
And that also makes you a great dad because they're watching you love a woman the right way. And when they get older, when they have a marriage, you know what we're going to do? What we're supposed to do? We're going to say, okay, here, Susie, here's Max. It's your turn. And we're clocking out. Until they ask us for help with their children or they ask for advice in their marriage, then we'll help, but we're not overstepping. Because they watched you do it, and they know to prioritize their wife. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
It's constant, but they're also going to say, just as you did about your dad, my dad prioritized me and took me outside to play football.
Because I remember seeing that, ironically, on Facebook, and I think Reese shared it. It said, you want to raise your kids to a point to where when somebody asks them how it was being raised by your parents, you want them to say the most like incredible, positive, loving thing to that person, to where they can't say, well, my parent was better.
Yeah. Oh.
You know, so raising your kids, and I forget the exact verbiage behind it or the actual quote, but that's essentially what it said was, when your kid gets asked how it was having you as a parent, there's no questions behind your answer. There's no holes in your answer, or there's nothing that they can say that was better than your parent.
I love that. That's what we all want.
But then seeking reality is that, look at the man I became, or look at the woman I became.
Yep. And one of the biggest flexes will be a God-fearing man or a God-fearing woman.
That's what I was going to say, which is so good. Because now we're at the point with our kids, we're making God the priority.
They hear, and it sounds cliche, but they hear about God and Jesus at least 10 times a day.
Yep. And the reason for everything that they either have or are going to receive.
Yes. It's not, because they're not so much, they are searching for knowledge right now because this is the prime time. Their brains are sponges right now. If you want to get your guys' kids following Jesus, if your kids are our age, now is the time. I forget what the statistics are, but studies show the younger you start them, the more likely it is that they will always follow. So their brains are sponges.
And it's not like we're sitting there. I don't know if people are going to take this good or bad, but we're not forcing it down their throats. We are just simply explaining to them why it is the way it is. And now they are all for learning.
Yes.
And they can repeat it. Can I tell a story about Max?
Sure.
When he had that dream? We were in the car on the way home from school. They told me about God.
Oh, and then I'll tell Porter's story.
So listen to this, guys. This is the point we got to with at least Max. I forget about Porter's story. Forgive me. But I picked up Max from school, and he goes on these spiels and often likes to make things up or add things to a story. But he said, "Is Jesus God's sister?" Just because he's such a big brother and overprotective for Lennon that he thinks that anybody that is smaller than somebody is either their sister or their grandchild. I don't know. That's just Max. But I said, "No, son. Jesus is God's son." He said, "What does Jesus look like?" And I said, well, if you want to base it off of movies or just simple history, he was a man, brown beard, long brown hair, and a robe. He said, I know what God looks like. And I said, oh, do you? He asked me what Jesus looked like, and then, but you know what God looks
Yeah,
like.
he just went above Jesus.
But Max, we feel he has this gift, and that's just
It's
coming.
crazy.
Like almost premonition type of deal, or he is just, I mean, he's heaven sent. He really is, and he's really showing that gift. But he said, yeah, I saw him when I was like, when did you? He was like, yeah, I saw him. And I said, when did you see him? He said, when I was in mom's belly. And I said, well, what did he look like? He said, oh, he had a white beard and he had white hair. And I said, okay. Well, I started paying attention more, focusing on that conversation at that point. And he said, yeah, and I prayed. And I said, prayed about what? That kid looked me in my eyes and said that I am protected. When I heard that, I said, son, you are a true gift. And then he looked at me and said, I thanked him, and then I was born. I came out of mom's belly. That gave me, like, I almost had to pull over. Just because he says, and he'll start talking and just say things that are equivalent to that.
Yeah, like things he shouldn't know, but he does know.
Or things that he remembers, or like things that when he was 4 months old, he'll say, remember that time? And we haven't showed him any bit of pictures, videos, anything like that. It's truly incredible.
That story, though, it made us, he came home and told me, and it sends chills up my spine because he is a gift. And when I was in labor, I had to have an emergency C-section because he flipped during my labor.
Yeah, flipped last minute, and then Marconium appeared in your private areas.
Yep. Thanks, babe.
Just to get real, for everybody that doesn't know what that is.
He pooped in my belly, which is really dangerous. There you
Yes.
go. So I had to go for a C-section, and the doctors were scared because I was in labor for a while. So it was kind of like he wasn't coming out, and then he said, I prayed for protection, and then Yeah, I prayed for protection, and then I was born. Like, it just,
Which is just, I mean, he was there. His spirit.
yeah.
Before it, we know his spirit is alive when he's in your stomach, but when I tell you that his spirit was released to his vessel was right then and there.
Yeah.
And to say that he had a conversation with God, because I wanted to act like I was sitting
Like,
there
how
like
was
a fan,
he?
like a
Yeah.
fanboy. I was like,
Tell me
what did
more.
he look like? What did you ask him? What did he say? What did he say about me? You know, like, but I was just sitting there in awe, like tears coming down my face, and
He is pure-hearted.
just pure hearted. And since then, it's still with our kids too.
He said, Mom, he was taking a shower the other day, and he said, Mom, can I have bath time? And I was like, no, we're taking a shower, Max. Like, we're trying to get him into the shower phase. He's 6. He said, no, Mom, can I have bath time? I was like, no, man, we're taking a shower. And he said, no, I want Jesus to bless me. I said, baptize? And he said, yeah, bath time. So I'm going to go tell Pastor Tom or ask him when the next bath time is.
Yeah, because he's there. No, I'm kidding.
But this will tell the difference between our kids and personalities. We have a little toddler bed in our room that Lennon sleeps in. We don't want her across the house yet. Porter came in crying one night. He had a bad dream. I said, go get in bed with Lennon. He laid there, and I'm like dozing back off. And he said, Mom. I said, what? He said, I can't go back to sleep. I had a nightmare. I said, buddy, did you pray? He said, no, I'm about to.
He's just brutal to the point. I tell you, as a 4-year-old, and he's small. Like,
Yeah.
he's 28th percentile in height and weight. So if you can imagine, he's just such a bold kid.
He has my like Southern talk and accent.
Like, they get country, and they were both born in Ohio. Like, I don't understand.
So he said, no, I'm about to though. I said, all right, so here I go dozing off, and I'm like dozing off to him talking. You know, when people pray and they're like, I just heard that, and I swear it was like 5 minutes long, and I was impressed. Like, what is he talking about? I'm dead asleep again. And he says, Mom, and I open my eyes. He's like, it didn't work. So I had to go pray with him, and then he fell asleep. He said, it didn't work.
And she told me that. That was one of the funniest stories I ever heard. Because when I wake up earlier than, well, Courtney technically does, but she gets a little nap in between when some of her kids are still sleeping. But when I go to work, it's about 6:30 in the morning. Porter will be in his room, and I'll walk past his room, and I make sure to give them all kisses on the forehead. That's my thing. I give Courtney a kiss, I give Lennon a kiss, and then I move on to the boys. What all I hear is, Dad. At 6:00 in the morning, like I'm still half asleep, and it scares me every time. Even though I look forward to it, or I know it's coming. He goes, Dad, you going to work? I said, yeah, son. He said, all right. Will you be safe? Love you. And it'll be right after I
He's
kiss his
so
forehead.
funny.
Like, I'll kiss his forehead. He's dead asleep.
You don't know what he's going to say.
Dad, you going to work? Yeah, son. But yeah, we're going to do a 2-part to this. We just wanted to share a little bit about us too.
We want to be human to you guys
do.
as much as possible.
We do, because it's easy to prioritize your kids. It really is, especially if you don't have that village, but at the same time, form your own. Put
So,
trust in. So you have to just
Yes.
have to trust, because you mentioned that previously with our marriage conference being out of state, we couldn't because of the season we were in. But now, if that conference is out of state, we're sending our kids to, and I
Where
hate
we
saying
send-
this, we don't trust anybody, but we are making sure that we are getting out. to do
Yeah.
that.
Because we don't trust anybody.
No.
Luckily, we have my mom and my sister. But again, we have kids young and around the same age. Like, it's a lot to handle if you're not used to it. So we don't blame them when they're like,
And
But-
we have friends too. Shout out to Brooke and Tony,
yes.
Montel and Kyle.
But to sum up what we were talking about, prioritizing your marriage, your kids don't mean as much as your spouse. They're going to be gone one day and your spouse is still going to be there.
Yep.
You need to nurture your relationship while you have it, and you have to find ways to prioritize it.
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
It's hard, but you got to get
Well,
tricky.
you want them to carry on the next generation. You don't want to fail the generation by showing them, oh, my parents gave me enough attention, but now they are surprised that you guys are getting a divorce. They don't realize why.
Yeah. So we tried to do the couch time. It didn't work. So now we do the at night time.
Mm-hmm.
You can prioritize it by simply, like, it's the little things. We were just talking about this today. You were loading the car. You went to Lowe's and got some stuff, and he was loading the back of the car. And Max is like, hey, Dad, hey, Dad, hey, Dad. And it was pretty much to tell on Porter for doing something. Dad, Dad, Dad. And I turned and I looked at him and I said, this is dad time.
Yep. Whether just time to time to myself just to load the stuff in the car.
Yes. I mean, you don't have to just be doing a chore.
Right.
Like, that's not
But
personal
it was just
time.
an example.
But it's like, no, you have to let them know that it's not your time right now.
Right. Or like tonight, you're cooking dinner and they come up to you asking 1,000 questions, and it's like, kids, that can wait.
I'm doing this for you right now.
That's your mom's time.
Yeah.
It's your mom's time. Leave her alone. That question, because they ain't going to remember what question they were going to ask 2 minutes later.
No, they don't.
You know, so and it's not to sit there and say it's not important to them, because it is, because they want your attention. But at the same time, your main attention should be focused on your spouse, and your kids should mold that into your kids' brain so they can carry that on to the next generation and the next generation after that.
Yep.
Your spouse is your priority. Without making that relationship with your spouse the best, you cannot be the best parent for your kids. You fail your kids.
My husband fuels me. He energizes me. He spiritually lifts me so that I can be present for my kids.
And same for you to me. So we can both so we can be the 50-50, or even at this point, I feel like it's 100 and 100. We're running on 200%, and I think it's growing
Oh, yes.
still
Mhm.
because our kids are satisfied. We are satisfied.
Our kids used to throw tantrums when we would say it's mom and dad time. Like, it took a long time to break that cycle
Yes.
because we gave our all to them. We were exhausted by giving to our kids.
And now are you and mom talking?
Yeah, is
Yes,
this
sir.
mom and dad time? And we're like,
Right.
yes.
And then they walk back to their
And they might come back
do-
2 minutes later. Hey, is it mom and dad time? But we are making progress that Porter's not screaming and stomping his feet all the way to the bedroom.
Yeah, they're not mad. They understand. At least it's starting to
It-
reflect
yeah.
that they understand.
Oh, this might be a bad, we might get flagged for this. So, Porter knows how to wipe his butt.
Okay.
He was in the bathroom the other day, and just so you know, when they're at home, they want mom to wipe their butt.
Hmm.
I know you know how to wipe your butt because you do it at school.
Yeah.
He sat on the toilet screaming, and he was rude. Mom, I need my butt wiped. And I'm sitting on the couch folding clothes, and I said, I'm not doing it. And he's throwing a tantrum on the toilet.
Mhm.
I said, I am not doing it,
Your
Porter.
legs are gonna go numb, son.
And I kept saying, this is mom time. He's crying and screaming. 20 minutes. I know that sounds awful. And it was hard for my mom heart to do. 20 minutes, and it wasn't him crying like, please help me. It was crying like he was probably cussing me out. That it's a Porter style.
Probably in his 4-year-old
He-
self.
I was not wiping his butt. Finally, he got up and did it. And he came to the couch and sat by me and said, Mom, why wouldn't you do that? And I explained, I know you know how to do it. Mom is already doing this for you. I'm folding your clothes for you. This is mommy time. Okay, Mom, I get it. And that was it. He stopped crying and he understood because we've explained God's time is marriage time.
Mm. Well, that's so good.
Yes.
That is so good.
If your marriage is failing, it isn't because God had a flaw in his design. It's
Mm.
because you're not prioritizing his word.
That's good. That's really good.
We have to keep that at the top of our brains.
Yes, we do.
And we have to keep it at our kids.
God first, spouse next, kids, and then everything else.
And life is a bliss.
Life is the life you want.
You have to unlearn to learn.
Yeah. You got to be that old dog that'll accept new tricks. Without that, you won't have growth. But again, this is going to be a 2-part series because kids, we love our kids.
We love kids and we love
know.
love not prioritizing our kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually fun. Like, it sounds bad, but it's actually pretty great that...
It gives you a
'cause-
reason to say,
right.
leave me alone.
Right, because now it's only grown our relationship. So you guys try that. Tell your kids no. I mean, it's not hard. It is because they'll keep pestering you about stuff. But if your spouse isn't happy, your kids are never going to be happy.
And if you love your kids, put them below your spouse. It will only brighten your future and theirs. We're trying. It's a work in progress
It is.
because we love our babies. Everyone does.
But just remember that statistic for this part 1. We're going to continue it on part 2, that the average divorce is 40 to 45 years old. And that's because you get burnt out and you don't find time for your spouse until it's too late. Or you're just so numb to the fact that you don't even care. And that's the scary thing that
Yeah.
we need to get away from. Divorce is not meant to even happen. The only time I think divorce is accepted per the book is if your wife cheats.
Or I might be wrong, but if there's adultery or it's agreed upon,
Or it's right, or if it's a mutual agreement.
I think.
Believe so. I know adultery for sure, and you can find that in Matthew and Proverbs. But until then, divorce should not be at the rate it's at in America because we lose the sight of our priority. God, marriage, children. It's part 1 of 2.
See you guys
We
Friday.
love you guys. We just love you guys. The support that we have received has been just amazing. And again,
We
we're
love
not
you
in
guys.
this. We are far from any sort of personal gain.
No, we're not getting anything from
by
this. We're
by
just
anything. We are just trying to share
shares light.
what we are learning ourselves, because not a lot of people like going to church. I mean, to each their own. If you can make it to church, do it, because what we are telling you guys is what we are learning through our church and our church's resources, and we're just trying to spread it to as many people to just spread God's blessing in this.
If you are in Marion and you want to try out a church, just message us because we love having new people. Well, our church too, but us personally. If you want to meet us there, we'll walk in with you. We'll help you find a seat. Even if you're a stranger to us, we love having new people at our church and our pastors, the environment. God's home is worth it.
And again, forever shout out to Pastor Tom and Kathy Tony, Pastor Jason and Mel,
And Amanda.
and Pastor Amanda. We love them with all of our hearts, and from me, I can't thank them enough. I can't. I'm actually becoming friends with them, and I love it. Like I did. Like I
He
freaked
came
out.
to
Pastor Jason asked me to go to lunch today, and
He came out to the car and said,
Actually-
Courtney,
actually-
I'm going to lunch with our
I was
pastor.
like, I'm going to lunch with our.
I was like, how do you, like every week he comes out with something new. I'm like, how do you do that?
And I love it. But again, they're normal people. They're just
They're good people.
they're heaven sent as well. They are true servicemen and women of God, and we can't thank them enough. But again, if you are scared of doing anything,
We were too.
we were too. It has to start with just saying yes, and everything goes up from there. I can promise you that. But again, not to get too off topic, this is episode 1 of 2. Episode 2 will be on Friday. This one will be released, I'm going to say today, even though we are recording this in the past. I'm going to say today's Wednesday. But we love you guys. Again, carry on the good blessing of God. Understand your priorities in this life, and make your spouses the priority second to God. And everything else will come back tenfold.
Have a great night.
Love you guys. 2 is 1.